Greetings, fellow gorehounds, and welcome back to a Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
I'm Count Jackula.
And today we're going to talk about teenage sex and death at Camp Miasma.
But we'll probably just refer to it as Camp Miasma, because that's a bit of a mouthful.
It is a much easier way to refer to the movie, 100%. So Camp Miasma, written and directed by Jane Schoenbrun of I Saw the TV Glow fame. This movie is a surreal slasher film about a filmmaker named Chris, who's been hired to reboot a Jason Voorhees-style slasher series called Camp Miasma, which is about a killer named Little Death who kills teenagers at a camp called Camp Miasma. And they've made 100 or so sequels of this goddamn movie, like Jason Voorhees, like Nightmare on Elm Street and whatnot. And this young upstart filmmaker wants to remake the movie with a woke reboot.
Yeah.
That is her goal. And in order to make this happen, she first must meet with the original final girl from the original film, played by Gillian Anderson, named Billy, and go meet up with her at her cabin, suspiciously also at a camp, which seems to be the camp that they shot Camp Miasma in the first place, and meet up with her and convince her to star in her awesome woke reboot of Camp Miasma. So that's the premise of this movie, right? It seems like a straightforward premise. It's not a straightforward movie, though.
No.
No. This is a movie about a lesbian filmmaker overcoming her anxiety around sex through her love of slasher films.
Yeah.
Unlike I Saw the TV Glow, this movie's a lot funnier. It's a lot more joyful. This movie's much more of a celebration. Whereas I Saw the TV Glow, while it had some celebratory moments, was a much moodier movie.
At the end of it, it's a tragedy.
Yes.
I Saw the TV Glow is a tragedy.
With a hopeful little
it's got
bit at the end.
It's got room for hope at the end, but like the story does not get to a hopeful place.
That movie makes you feel like you go through the meat grinder when you get to the end, right?
Yeah.
Whereas this movie, you watch people go through the meat grinder, but you're cheering and laughing and having a good time.
I Saw the TV Glow very obviously about trans identity and what can happen if you go through life completely denying that.
Sure, 100%.
You know, so that was going to be a tragedy.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, this one is all about a woman trying to find her orgasm.
Pretty much. In fact, it's not even subtext in this movie. The serial killer in the franchise is called Little Death.
Yeah.
A reference to the fact that orgasms are often referred to as a little death.
Yeah.
That is very much the text of the movie, not even subtext. It's a fucking air horn screaming in your face. And the way this character is going to connect with their own sexuality and find their orgasm is by essentially falling for Billy, the final girl, and through her experiencing the slasher film for real. Because much like I Saw the TV Glow, there's a blend of reality and unreality in this. The film world and the real world are slowly merging until you get to the end of the movie where they're basically one world.
Yeah, because this director likes to use the metaphor of self-discovery through media.
Yeah, it's basically a filmmaker who is going through their own personal journeys and connecting it to whatever media they happen to be into at the time they went through that journey, right? The trans identity was deeply connected to like stuff like Buffy the Vampire Slayer they watched when they were younger. And apparently the sexuality was deeply connected to slasher films like Sleepaway Camp, Friday the 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, and they specifically bring up Sleepaway Camp.
Oh, they do.
Several times.
Absolutely. In fact, this movie is filled to the brim. If you're a horror fan, horror Easter eggs throughout this movie is just nonstop. It's constantly bombarding you with horror-specific jokes that mainly horror fans are going to find funny.
Yes.
And I appreciate that. I can connect to this movie a little bit easier than I Saw the TV Glow because I'm not trans. So I Saw the TV Glow, while a very deeply and personal movie for the filmmaker, not as personal for me. This movie I connect with a lot more because first off, if you're a person who wants to fuck Gillian Anderson Anderson and you really like slasher movies, this is the movie for you. And let me say, Gillian Anderson was one of those actresses when I was younger that definitely contributed to my sexual awakening.
Right.
You know, watching The X-Files as a kid, she was hot. So this movie, I connect with it more, even though this movie is ultimately about a lesbian relationship.
Yeah, but I like the fact that it's also about like the kind of like rougher, more problematic edges of sexuality.
Yes, that's one of the conversations throughout this movie that I really fucking enjoyed, because it wasn't just the rougher and like problematic elements of sexuality.
Yeah.
It was the rougher and problematic elements of basically everything.
Everything, yeah.
This main character is the woke millennial. They might be Gen Z. I'm not sure how the age bears out, but I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be like a millennial in this movie who is grappling with their own problematic desires and their own woke belief system.
Yeah.
The Gillian Anderson character has to basically be like, look, I know you want to reboot this movie. I know you want to like add all these layers to it and add all this personal fucking like experience to it. But at the end of the day, you're forgetting what Camp Miasma is about.
Flesh and fluids.
Yes. Sex and death. At the end of the day, Camp Miasma is about sex and death. And if you forget that, then you're missing the point.
Yeah. There's no reason to make a movie if you forget that.
Absolutely. And I love that she's basically telling her that, like, I know you want to wokeify this, but you can't wokeify it too much because otherwise you're going to lose what makes it special.
Yeah.
And that also connects with the fact that she herself has trouble with sex. She is very much kind of like not sex repulsed, but she doesn't seem to really get much out of it. It seems to be not because she's not sexually attracted to people, because she clearly is.
Yeah.
Like, she clearly looks at Gillian Anderson and wants to go down on her, like, right away.
Yeah.
The problem is her anxiety gets in the way.
Yeah, her anxiety gets in the way because at the core of her sexuality is the fact that she wants to be the victim.
Yes, she wants to be the slasher victim. She's got a slasher kink.
Yeah.
You know, she wants the masked person to come and get her so that she can experience the little death.
Yes.
You know? And it also connects with her experience making the film, because ultimately, until she connects with that part of herself, she can't actually make this movie.
No.
But once she connects with this part of herself, she can.
Yeah.
She can make the reboot she wants to make because she's no longer being anxious about the unwoke elements of the franchise she's adapting.
Yeah.
I love how well all of this works together. In fact, when we left the movie, I actually compared this movie to another movie I saw earlier this year called Her Private Hell, which also mixed unreality and reality and kind of had like a film world and a real world blend together at the end. But I have no idea what that movie was ultimately trying to say.
Yeah, you said that this movie, Camp Miasma, blended it way better.
Yeah, this movie achieved what that movie felt like it was trying to do way better, because not only did it blend that unreality, I understood why the two realms were blending, and I understood what the film was ultimately saying. You know, I got the film's message. I did not really understand the message of Her Private Hell, even though I enjoyed that movie. So this movie gets points over Her Private Hell for that reason. But if you liked Her Private Hell, you might also like this movie, because they both have this weird, like, kind of surrealness to them, even though they are very different movies, but they're also kind of slasher movies. It's very weird. It's very weird. Something that some people are probably going to have a problem with, but I actually didn't have a problem with it. There is a lot of CGI blood in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't mind it because they went like anime with it. Like when someone,
it's real goofy.
When someone gets their head cut off, it becomes like a geyser of blood up into the fucking sky.
Yeah, almost as if the severed head, the end of the severed head was like a penis.
Yes, it like takes like a penis shake and it's ejaculating. I got what it was trying to do, which is why I didn't mind that it went with that very particular stylization.
Yes.
Because it also matches the stylization of the whole movie. Because when you enter the film world in the movie, it's not like, say, The Final Girls, where all of a sudden everything feels like a shot on film, and you get like the film grain, and everyone's dressed like it's the 80s. When she enters the film world in this world, it's almost more magical than that.
Yeah.
Like there's these very beautiful fucking like matte paintings in the background that almost make it look like a magical wonderland that she's wandering through. So it's like her fantasy world mixed in with the slasher film.
Yeah. I appreciated that a lot of the backgrounds were basically made to look like matte paintings.
Yeah, in a weird way, it made this movie feel like a Takashi Miike film, like Happiness of the Katakuri's or whatnot.
Yeah.
Which, if I'm evoking Takashi Miike to talk about a movie, you know I fucking love that movie, because I love Miike. Can't get enough of Miike. So, needless to say, Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma is one of my favorite movies of the year so far. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, and I highly recommend you go check it out before it leaves theaters, because I believe it only has a limited run. So go check it out if it's playing near you. But if it's not playing near you, trust me, when it hits streaming, go check it out for yourself. And with that said, we're going to move on to the spoiler section, because I want to talk about the rest of the movie. So here we go.
I'm thinking about the spoilers, and I find myself going, I feel that once you pierce the movie's language, then you kind of understand the movie.
Yes, and you get where the movie's going, right?
Yeah, you absolutely get where the movie's going.
We are literally just going to talk about what literally happens at the end of this movie, because we've already talked about the meaning of everything. Now we just talk about what the fuck happens. You know, she goes to this cabin, meets up with Gillian Anderson. The two of them have like these sultry fucking conversations and eat fucking chicken and dip. You know, they have these kind of like generational back and forths about the nature of horror films and about like what's good, what's bad, and whatnot. The main character realizes through Gillian Anderson that Little Death is real. Yeah. It's not just a figment of the movies. Little Death is actually an entity that lives underneath the camp, inside the lake. The movies are its creation. It creates the movies and convinces all the people at the studio that they made it, and releases the movies out into the world in order to spread its message, spread its seed, if you will. Spread its orgasms. And she has now become a part of its next story. The woke reboot of Camp Miasma is the movie we are literally watching right now.
Yep.
In fact, at the end of the movie, when the fucking movie pops out of the fucking vagina,
the vagina wall?
Yeah, the vagina VHS player, which is very Videodrome, by the way. The vagina VHS player that pops out the VHS tape that is the movie we just watched. Just to reinforce the fact that the reboot of Camp Miasma is literally the movie we're watching. It is the woke meta reboot.
Yeah.
Where it's two lesbians falling in love and having an orgasm while everyone in her life is killed one by Little Death because they kept popping up at the fucking camp to try to see if she was okay.
Yeah. She has like these, I wouldn't necessarily say they were antagonists, but she has these people in her life who are obstacles.
Yes, in different ways, right?
In different ways.
She's got a girlfriend who she's in a polycule with.
Who doesn't seem like she really respects her.
No, and she doesn't actually like really connect with her either. You know? And she definitely does not like her boyfriend.
Yeah. Does not like Thor, the third guy in the polycule.
Does not like him at all.
She has her agent. She has the producers.
Yes.
You know?
The agent desperately wants her to start mainstreaming herself a little bit more so they can get more money and they can get this movie made and stop trying to fucking stick to her vision.
Right.
The producers want a woke take that they can sell to people. And they have this whole scene where they have this whole meeting about what the take's gonna be. And she kind of has this complete mental breakdown about how Camp Miasma is real, Little Death is real, and that they're all part of the movie, and that everything is the movie, and that they're all gonna die a slow and painful death the moment he awakens again in the middle of the pitch meeting.
Yeah.
And it's because of that meeting, all the characters show up later at the camp trying to say like, were you okay? Like you kind of had this fucking like weird fucking breakdown.
Yeah, but it's super comedic. It's sort of like, oh, I drove all this way in order to see if you were okay.
Yep, and then they're killed one by one. Well, she gets to live out her dream because she admits earlier in the movie that her sexual fantasy is to be the final girl running around with her fucking nipples popping out of her shirt.
Yeah. She's very explicit
in her underwear. This is actually a part of the movie that I really fucking dug. The movie made an even more direct connection to the final girl and the slasher killer by having it be that, according to Billy, when Billy was filming Camp Miasma, she saw herself in the killer's eyes.
Yeah.
When it approached her and they were having sex, and that it wasn't really a movie. They were actually friends at a camp. And again, Camp Miasma's real. The killer's real. Seeing her own death as she is having sex and orgasming. And the orgasm is punctuated by the stab from the killer. And that is the scene that is recreated for the main character at the end, for Chris at the end of the movie. She has sex with Gillian Anderson, everyone's dream. Well, Little Death stalks upon them and she sees herself die in real time.
Yep.
But something that's repeated over and over again throughout this movie is if it gets too real, you can always turn it off.
Yeah.
Which was apparently the tagline for Camp Miasma when it went to video.
Yeah, when it went to VHS.
When it went on home video, if it always gets too real, you can always turn it off. And this is something repeated to the main character over and over and over again. So at the end, after they die, they wake up the next morning.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. The tape is made. Little Death gets his new movie, or her new movie, or their new movie.
Their new movie.
I believe they're explicitly trans.
Yeah.
Little Death is explicitly a trans killer.
Yeah.
Because there's this whole backstory about how Little Death sometimes liked to be a boy, sometimes liked to be a girl, and that's why they were drowned in the lake, because the fucking camp was bigoted.
Yeah.
That's basically the long and short of it. So their movie gets made in their fucking creepy fucking blockbuster underneath the fucking ocean.
Yeah.
With the fucking vagina wall VHS player. They get their movie, and then Gillian Anderson and the main character like go to get some snacks and go about their day. There's an interesting fucking element to this movie where there's a big emphasis on candy.
Yes.
And I was trying to figure out if that's because like candy and like popcorn is what
and
you
like
eat.
movie theater.
Yeah, because it's a lot of candy that you would associate with like movie theaters. And whatnot.
But it's also like, the sweetness.
Yes, there's a sweetness too. When I say there's an emphasis on candy in this movie, I don't just mean the characters eat some candy or there's some candy in the background. There's a point in which they try to have sex for the first time and they're laying on a bed of candy. Bed of movie theater candy, essentially.
Now, you could tell part of this is product placement.
Some of it is. Okay, this movie has way more product placement than I Saw the TV Glow ever did. KFC. All those fucking candies, all those fucking cereals. When she like introduces all the different cereals. But I did like that each cereal seemed to represent a different character in a slasher movie, like a different trope. But they were all real cereals. They were all real candy. And there is no way they were able to put those as prominently in the movie if they weren't getting paid a little bit to do so.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
Which, you know what?
Fair.
They had to get funding somehow.
Fair.
And if connecting with movie theater candy and going like insanely over the top with it by having them sleeping on a bed of candy was the way to get that funding, more power to them. 100%. Now, I'm sure there's 100% elements or aspects of this movie that because I am a cis straight man, I probably did not get all the details of what's being talked about in this movie. Just like I Saw the TV Glow, I'm sure there's elements that I missed. But what I did understand, I thoroughly loved. I love the heck out of this movie. Do you have any final thoughts?
No, I thought the movie was excellent. I thought it was amazing. Right now, it's my favorite movie of the year.
If it's not my favorite, it's definitely going to be in top 3 at this point.
Oh, it's got to.
Because there's so many fucking, this year's had so many fucking good movies.
Yeah, but I haven't enjoyed a movie this much in a while.
Because it was just fun, right?
It was super fun.
Can't stress it enough. If you're worried that this is going to be like I Saw the TV Glow, it's not that deep.
Well, it's not that dour.
Okay, it's deep, but you're right. It's not that fucking like dour. This movie is a lot of fun. It's hilarious. It's practically a horror comedy half of the time.
Yes.
Like there's jokes flying left and right. It stars a couple comedians like fucking Sarah Squirm or
Sarah Squirm's in this.
Yeah.
Also Kevin McDonald from Kids in the Hall.
Yes.
And fucking what's his name? The guy who isn't David Dismalchin.
Yes.
Is the other guy that plays roles that David Dismalchin usually plays.
I know exactly who you're talking about. I'll put his name right here. I fucking love that guy.
Yeah, he was in Happy. He was in he's been in every other thing I've seen.
Yup, and he's great. He's great. There's a lot of funny like horror references throughout this. They even jokingly referenced the rumor that Jamie Lee Curtis was trans at one point in this movie. So they like got some deep cut fucking jokes in this movie for like the real fans of horror films and whatnot. And I just love it. 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, y'all know me. I'm the Horror Guru. You can find me at the Horror Guru on various social media platforms. But these days, I primarily use Blue Sky, so follow me on there. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you're notified of my videos immediately upon their upload. And if you'd like to help out either of us more directly, be sure to check out our Patreon pages. And remember, if you decide to go the Patreon route, even $1 a month can go a long way, but we will certainly accept more. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, if you made it this far into the video, then I want you to comment below, and be sure to comment below using the hashtag.
Yeah, let's go with Gorgasm.
Okay, we'll go with Gorgasm. If it gets flagged, I'll try my best to unflag all of you who posted down there. Anyway, my fellow Gorehounds, peace out, and we'll catch y'all later.